Alright, we made it home from the Jeep invasion in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It was a great time. More Jeeps than I think I ever saw in my life there. It was kind of cool. Actually made it on an episode of Motor Trend. I think it's going to air soon on Low Car TV. So you can actually probably look that up on YouTube within a week or so. Maybe it'll be on. I haven't seen it yet myself. But one thing I realized is there was a lot of cool Jeeps there. So maybe, even though the TJ pickup is super cool the way it is, I think I might have to step my game up and do a few upgrades. Maybe boost it up. So we'll check that out. And you also may have noticed that I changed the name of this channel. If you've been on here for a long time, you knew it as Burnt Scrotum Garage, which was a cool, fun name. You can go back and see one of the other videos and it'll tell you where that name actually came from. But I think to get any kind of maybe sponsorship or better recognition, or maybe just to put it out there, maybe I had to change the name just to seem a little more legit. The Burnt Scrotum thing's a little jokey, and maybe some potential sponsors or people might think that name's a little strange. So I changed it. Now I used to go by Hossjeeper Garage for the last 20-30 years when I was playing with Jeep parts and stuff. So I just changed it to Hossjeeper Garage. I actually had a business a long time ago. In fact, there's my sign from probably, that's probably a 30-year-old sign. And I used to dabble in Jeeps and just play around with them to sell. Now I just do it for myself. I don't buy them and sell them. I just get Jeeps and play with them for a hobby. But so if you remembered me from Burnt Scrotum Garage, now we're just going to be Hossjeeper Garage. So it's the same thing. So if you like and subscribe, that would be great, because I got a lot of stuff coming up. So for the TJ pickup so far, the other day I just bought a set of Fox Reservoir Factory Race Series coilovers. So they're going to go on here. I guess I'm going to end up going 1 tons. I'm not 100% sure. I even may do a set of Gladiator axles if I can find a nice set. You know, my only theory with 1 tons is I just didn't want to be super wide, and I really don't have the funds and money and energy to get a pair of axles cut down. But I was thinking about going with 40s. The 35's on there right now, so I'm either going to go 40s. I could probably get away with these Rubicon axles with 37s if I'm kind of not going crazy. But I don't know, I think if I'm going to step up and change the suspension out, go coilovers, I guess I might as well go up to tons. So and this whole Jeep's, you followed me along this whole time, it's a budget build. I'm not trying to spend $50,000, $100,000 on a play toy that's just a project that I just, kind of build for the fun of it. So I can't afford to go with, Dana 60 Pro Rock build axles. I kind of got to do it on a budget and go figure it all out. That's kind of how I ended up with these. I mean, I shop all the time for deals, and these were, I scored both shocks for $1,000, brand new, never been installed. Still may have to play with spring rates, but I saved some good money. I got the shocks, and now I'll figure out what I'm going to put them on. And you can see my Can-Am there. Actually, I had to do all the upgrades on the front end. I did A-arms and beefed up that a little bit. So I'll do some more stuff on the channel playing with that. Maybe I'll show some good jumping and riding footage. And this box right here, down in Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, I bought this box right here. It's a complete fuel injection setup for the Scrambler. I haven't done much on the channel with my Scrambler, but it's a really nice CJ8. It's got the stock 258 4-speed. It just not happy with the carburetor. I even have the Motorcraft 2150. I put an HEI distributor. It's just not, I don't like the carburetor, so I figure let's step up the fuel injection. This does have its spring over on 35s, pretty much stock. I do have another axle that I'm going to put in the rear, an AMC 20 that's got solid axles, disc brake conversion. So I think I'll try to do a good job documenting that for YouTube as far as the bolting on the fuel injection and getting all that working, and that'll probably be in a couple weeks. I usually use the Jeeps for the summer and play with them in the winter time when the weather gets bad. They're like my play toys. So in fact, I'm probably going to jump in this baby and go out to dinner in a little bit. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to let everybody know, if you were curious about the name change, what happened. I don't know if people realize or notice it, that I even changed the name, but that's the story about that. So stay tuned. I'll try to get some more good stuff up there. I'll try to do a little better job documenting the Jeep. If anybody out there has any ideas for axles, feel free to comment. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. Of course, like I said, it's got to be a budget. I'm not going to go out and spend $10,000-$15,000 on a set of axles when I can get Super Duty axles for $600-$700. Get the truss kit welded on myself and make all that work. But I am keeping my eye open for a set of like Max Toe Gladiator axles. I think they would probably be fine on here. They're not quite as wide from what I gather, and if I get a weld and change and make them fit, I think I can do that without too much trouble. So I think it's just the next step for this Jeep. And I do have a supercharger issue. I got a little rattling going on in the supercharger in the 6.0, so I'm going to have to pull all that apart, and I'm either going to attempt to rebuild it myself or send it out and have the supercharger completely rebuilt so I don't have to worry about that issue. So that's it. So stay tuned to the channel, like, subscribe. Like I said, if anybody has any comments, any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Any questions about the build, you can go back and see some of the old builds from the past. This Jeep, the green one that we built prior, which is still on the road, that's being used as a daily driver every day by my friend Dave, who helped me do that whole project. And he's been driving it all around, and it's been a great Jeep for him. And this Jeep has been good for me. I'm having a good time running around. People kind of don't know what it is. They go crazy over it. It's just an oddball Jeep, and it seems to get a lot of good attention. I was a little surprised in Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion down in Tennessee. I entered this in the show and shine in the TJ class. I got nothing. I didn't get any awards. Even when I went to the Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion Facebook page, I had 360 pictures of Jeeps all over the show. Not one picture of my Jeep was in there. So I said, maybe it looks too plain. Maybe I gotta step it up. Maybe it needs to go on 40s. Maybe it needs a little lift. Maybe I need some graphics. I don't know, something to jump it out. It looks too factory original. I don't think people understand what it is. Even people in the Jeep group that should know Jeeps, they should know that it's a TJ and they never made a pickup, two-door pickup. So I'm just going to keep stepping it up and playing around with it. It's just something to do. I do it on weekends, nights. It's not my full-time job. I do it when I get time. I do it when I feel like it. And like I said, it's a budget build just for the fun of it. So stay tuned, and we'll keep playing with it. And I said, like, subscribe, let people know what a cool little project we got going on. This is an everyman, well, at least I think it's an everyman project, garage, low budget. I mean, most of this thing was built with a grinder and a welder. Not really any crazy fancy expensive tools. In fact, you can see my big messy garage, mostly all Milwaukee stuff. I mean, I don't have, other than a welder, some grinders. And that's pretty much it. A ton of hand tools, and anybody can sit there and get a little creative with your Jeep. You don't have to just buy everything from the cookie cutter magazines. So stay tuned.